You know, Fallout is another one of those names where all I would have to do is say Fallout, and you probably get transported back to your favorite Wasteland locations. Well, today I want to bring you back to one of the most popular, best rated, biggest changed, fan favorite, one of the Wastelands that changed the series forever. I want to take you all back to the capital Wasteland. That is right, in Fallout 3. But this video is obviously long enough, you can see the time down there, so I'm gonna push everything aside and get right into everything right now. And I apologize if I sound a little stuffy or sick, I might be, to be honest, but let's get right into this. So going back to 2008, Fallout 3 might have a history that some of you don't even know. We all know about Bethesda if we know about Fallout. You know, they're the creators, Todd Howard. Well, what if I told you that they weren't the creators? They aren't the creators. Yeah, originally the first Fallout game was developed by Interplay Productions back in 1997. They continued to make a couple of games, they outsourced another game to someone else, but then, in the middle of them creating their own Fallout 3, they were calling it Van Buren at the time, in the middle of that game's development, Bethesda took the role to create Fallout. And yeah, let's just say Bethesda changed up quite a lot of stuff when it comes to graphics, gameplay, storytelling even. But they also made one of the most iconic and cult classic games in the series in a long time. Not that they popularized the franchise, obviously, rather they mainstreamed it, sending it to different consoles, letting more players play it, giving the game more recognition. But all of that went down back in around 2004 due to a fallout with the OG developers. Get it? Nudge, nudge? Okay, fine, whatever. But Interplay ended up selling the rights over to Bethesda, and Bethesda was already at work, working fast to get their own rendition of the apocalypse out. At the time, they were only really working on story, artwork, that kind of thing, not developing the game yet. But then after the release of Oblivion, the team started off on certain things brought over from that, like engine features and such, even bringing over one of Oblivion's scriptwriters to Fallout 3's Incipit, which is like the intro, War Never Changes bit.
War never changes.
Funnily, that was voiced by Ron Perlman. I don't know why that's funny to me, but that's like the Sons of Anarchy guy. What's also funny is Todd Howard came out in 2007, hyping up the game, getting people ready for the game, getting people hyped up, and then he said it was quite a ways away, it could be years away. And then boom, 1 year later Bethesda dropped one of the most popular, and it was like a shadow drop almost. They were like, here you go. It was one of the most popular games ever, and honestly, one of their most popular games ever. But now, why is Fallout 3 so good? What could it have possibly been about to get so much acclaim, get Bethesda 2 more games, get them a TV show, plus getting them to outsource Obsidian to give us one of my favorite games in the series, and I've felt that way since 2010. But actually, finally getting to the meat, what the game is actually about, everything starts off with you as a wee lad, and your dad is Qui-Gon Jinn. Literally Liam Neeson. And he is greeting you into the world. You and your father live in a vault as you live out some sort of childhood in what seems to be a normal vault. This vault being Vault 101. But come your 19th birthday, I think, your father leaves the vault and it is up to you to go out and find your dad within the apocalypse. You have to break out. The people don't want you to get out. They try to stop you, the vault guards, and you break out. And ironically, it's all kind of like the Fallout TV show, where it's been years since the bombs, the vault is still going good, and they think the outside world is pretty much instant death. You go outside, you get radiation, you never come back in because you're going to die in a couple days. That's pretty much what they think. As I said though, your 19th birthday comes, your father dips out, and you follow amidst the lockdown, only with the help of the Overseer's daughter. Once out though, the lone wanderer learns that the Wasteland is flourishing, as they stumble upon Megaton, the first city you find right at the beginning of the game, as most of you know, named after the undetonated bomb in the middle of the city. From there though, a barkeeper directs you to venture to the ruins of the capital city, Washington DC, where there you save Three Dog, the DJ of Galaxy News Radio. Three Dog dubs you the Lone Wanderer and sends you to Rivet City to talk to Dr. Madison Lee, who may have had word on your pop's location. While there though, the dog tells you something slightly groundbreaking. Now, you can learn this earlier in the game, but this is just how the events went down for me. Your father and your mother, who actually kicked it during childbirth, were not from Vault 101 as you were led to believe, but were actually scientists from outside the vault. You also learn that your pops was on the hunt now for the GECK, or the Garden of Eden Creation Kit, which was a pre-war Vault-Tec technology invented to rebuild civilization after the collapse. Your dad, whose name is James, by the way, I keep giving him nicknames, but his name is James, he ended up leaving the vault to get the GECK in hopes of using it to finish a water purification experiment called Project Purity. While meeting Three Dog at GNR headquarters, you also learn of the super mutant uprising affecting DC, and the Brotherhood of Steel are the front line against them. But you dip out of the GNR building, heading to Vault 112, where you find old Daddy-O strapped up to the BDs. You save him from his virtual oppressor, and the two of you make your way over to Rivet City, getting all James' old pals together to finish Project Purity. Right in the nick of time, though, the elusive Enclave attacks the Jefferson Monument, halting all of your father's work. James ends up flooding the project, telling the player to find a GECK and finish his work. Hoping to take Autumn with him, your dad just ends up taking himself out by radiation, and Colonel Autumn of the Enclave lives on. The Lone Wanderer gets out of there with the team, and they all venture to the ruins of the Pentagon to find the Citadel, which is like the Pentagon is the Citadel, and it's pretty much the Brotherhood HQ. And I think it's ironic and kind of cool that the Brotherhood was able to take the Pentagon. You'd think it'd be Enclave there because they're the All-Americans bringing America back to how it was, but no, the Brotherhood beat them on that front. That's pretty cool. But the Brotherhood of Steel agrees that the Enclave is an issue and agrees to help you with them. You head then to Vault 87 to find that GECK, as Vault 87 was a testing site for the FEV, or Forced Evolutionary Virus. But as you always do, you get what you need, you get the job done, and you get out, only to get captured by the Enclave. You are taken prisoner, but then set free, and you have to make your way to the leader, Eden, who is a supercomputer planning to use Project Purity to infect the water supply with the Forced Evolutionary Virus, killing or mutating all normal life. But see, due to the Enclave's immunity and their pure bloodline or whatever, they would survive and take over the area, pretty much ruling the Wasteland after this. You then have to shoot up some FEV straight into yourself. You have the choice to destroy Eden. You skip hop back to Citadel, knowing the Enclave has the GECK. You, the Brotherhood, and Liberty freaking Prime all lead the final attack on the Jefferson Memorial to take back Project Purity. Here, you get another choice to either save or sacrifice Autumn. Doesn't really matter to my knowledge, but you learn that the only way to stop the Enclave's plan is to sacrifice someone to radiation. But then a series of events can unfold the ending. First, you can do nothing and the purifier explodes, killing everyone, and that's about it. The next is you can sacrifice yourself, input the code, and watch the Wasteland flourish again as Project Purity works. Lastly, you can actually send the Brotherhood of Steel Paladin Lions in with the code. She sacrifices herself for the betterment of the Wasteland. What's funny too is you can even choose to add the Forced Evolutionary Virus in at the end as well and just kind of do the Enclave's plan yourself. And actually, with the Broken Steel DLC, if you have a radiation immune companion, you can send them into the chamber, they'll put the code in, but they'll survive, you'll succeed, and what's cool is this causes you to be able to continue playing the game as well, because, you know, with Fallout 3, Fallout New Vegas, once the game ends, you can't keep playing, you can just play from that last game save, but with Broken Steel DLC, you can actually keep playing the game after it ends, and you actually get to watch what Project Purity did to the Capital Wasteland, which I just think is absolutely awesome. But this story, that was a lot of story for no reason. I'm gonna end the story there. It's a pretty good story. The credits roll. I know I'm kind of frantic right now, my nose itches, I feel a little sick, and we're already like 15 minutes into this video. Let's just get right to the awesome DLC that comes with Fallout 3. Don't worry though, I won't go through all of their whole stories, making this video even longer. Let me just brush past them real quick. So the first of the 5 DLCs was Operation Anchorage, being a very tedious but story important DLC. So some may know the legendary battle and liberation of Anchorage in 2076 and 77, even being brought up in the Fallout TV show. But you are tasked to assist the Brotherhood of Steel outcasts to relive the battle in a VR simulation. Interestingly, a lot of people, myself included, I feel bad because I didn't know this, but knowing this now, I'm gonna take back a lot of stuff I said, but
sorry.
A lot of people use Operation Anchorage to back up story inconsistencies in the other games, but it is uncovered in the DLC that the simulation is not fully accurate, but yeah, that's Operation Anchorage. Then, onto the next, we have The Pit. Not to be confused with the new Fallout 76 expansion, but in Fallout 3's The Pit, you head to the raider-infested Pittsburgh to help the remaining survivors and civilians, kind of like the 76 version. And yeah, that's pretty much The Pit. You go to Pittsburgh, you fight fanatics, you fight raiders, and you try to save some people. And now onto Broken Steel, one of my favorite DLCs, because not only does it alter the original ending, but also gives you the option to continue playing, which should have already been the case. I don't understand why certain games do that, but it's like an old game thing. It's like they realized people didn't want to just stop. And I don't know why they didn't give us a DLC like this in New Vegas as well, but hey, mods do a lot, but some people can't use mods. I don't know, but that leads me to the next and second to last DLC, Point Lookout, which is a weirder one on the list, also being a total surprise as the last 3 were the only initially announced DLC. But in this 4th surprising DLC, you head to Point Lookout, a part of Maryland, actually unaffected by the bomb blasts. So expect some crazy foliage, some crazy locations, and crazy enemies. They are. Some of them are creepy. It's like you're going into the backwoods, going up to where Fallout's in. I'm just kidding. You get the gist. That brings us to the last DLC on the list, and a lot of people's favorites, and also a lot of people's least favorites, that being Mothership Zeta. So as most already know, Zeta is about getting zorped up to the alien mothership full of current and old world stuff. You even meet a samurai, which is pretty cool. But you have to go through the steps of taking out the aliens, securing the ship, and escaping. A cool feature is that once you complete the quest, you can actually use the ship as somewhat of a player home. But those are the DLCs. 5 pretty good DLCs, 2 of them being totally out of nowhere, and none of them suffering the fate of horse armor. And what's funny about the DLCs is originally Toddy Boy announced that Fallout 3 would come to the PlayStation 3 eventually, but the DLC wouldn't. Then months after the DLC's releases, in October of 2009, all of the DLCs just ended up making their way to the PS3, along with the Game of the Year edition, or whatever it's called. But I said it before, and I'll say it again, I already babbled on enough about the story, even cutting out a lot of my notes just to make things a little bit shorter. So I think that's enough on DLC, and now I will move on to the last topic of today's video, being the incredible reception Fallout 3 received. So as most of you already know, or at least could guess, Fallout 3 was a smash hit for so many reasons. Right off the bat, I'll point out that the game got practically 9s across the board, and I couldn't find any reputable publication other than Edge giving the game under 9. If there are any reputable game critics. Like, if that's a thing. But, like, GameSpot gave the Xbox and PC a 9, IGN a 9.6, Eurogamer a 10. It got a 90% plus on Metacritics on all 3 different platforms. I mean, sure, the PS3 edition was hit with some flack, but let's be honest, that version was more of an outcast than a lot of the Brotherhood members in the game. Fallout 3 got so much acclaim and praise for so many different things, from graphics and environments, sound design, VATS, the story arc, all the way to the fact that you got 2 more DLCs than was planned, and that they all made it to PS3. On top of that, when you look at other games, I know a lot of people say Fallout New Vegas is the best game, or Fallout 2, but Fallout 3 is statistically, I think, the best game with an overall best rating from all different critics, fans, all of that. I think Fallout 3 is the best rated game, therefore being the best Fallout game. I don't know, I won't speak on that too much. This is just another thing I don't want to yap about too much. So I think it's time I just wrap this video up with some final words after like 20 minutes of blapping on. I know I spewed off a bunch of different info without really saying my opinions and thoughts too much, but it all boils down to this for me. I love this game. It is an instant classic today, and it was the moment it was released. Really, I've played this game so many times, but I never really cared to pay attention to everything, which was a huge mistake. The main story, along with everything on the side, it was all perfect and fits right into the Fallout world and universe. And, you know, New Vegas might be one of my favorite games, but Fallout 3 sits right there beside it. Easy 8.7 in my book. Okay, fine. 9 out of 10. And that's a damn high score, especially for a game that's broken on Windows and took me 2 hours of stress to get it to work. But it was all worth it. And that was Fallout 3, a nice lengthy video to sit next to my Fallout New Vegas video, along with even more Fallout stuff I have in the works as we speak. But now I want to hear your thoughts on Fallout 3, the Capital Wasteland, and this video in the comments now. And if you enjoyed this video and you want to see more like it, why not slap this video with a like and throw a sub the channel's way to stay up to date on everything to come. And if you want to support more videos like this, and get your name at the end of future videos, plus get those videos early, check out a membership to the channel now by pressing that little join button below. Lastly, if you heard any music that you enjoyed, head over to BillyTheWhip on any music platform to hear more of my home-cooked jams. And now, with us here, I thank you all for your lengthy viewing pleasure. Thank you all for your support, and I hope you all have a fantastically amazing day.
So I buried him before he took the hit. Billy the boogeyman coming for you. Look out for the pigs, look out for me too. Been chewing them up, spitting the new, spitting the bones, pushing the noose, squeezing the game. Been making that juice, no need for the pulp. I'm spitting that too, rip it through. Anyone jumping through hoops, it's emergency.